Welcome Britehouse Group to your first hackathon. A hackathon is not a new concept. It's been around for quite some time. The industry leaders such as Google, Facebook, Microsoft and SAP regularly run hackathons. Things like the like button, activity page and chat function within Facebook were all born out of hackathons. Even companies that are not in the technology space run hackathons, so it has evolved over time. British Airways ran a hackathon in June 2013 where they transported or flew people from San Francisco to London, and over 11 hours these individuals had time to hack code together or develop solutions and ideas. They called it Ungrounded Innovation Lab, and what they found is that most individuals didn't actually develop any code. They just came up with concepts and ideas and just proved them using a whiteboard and just some documentation. Another company that comes to mind is Hearst. And Hearst is a media company in the USA. They're famous for publications like Cosmopolitan and also for the Oprah magazine. They ran a hackathon, they called it Fashion Hack. Now, what they did is they opened up APIs on their systems and they gave teams the opportunity to develop mobile applications in the fashion industry and connect it back to their APIs. So, what is Britehouse doing? Well, Britehouse is taking all of this and meshing it together. What we really want to do is we want everyone in our company to participate in the hackathon. So we're asking you to please participate and be part of it. So it doesn't matter what role you have in the company and which part of the organization you belong to. If you're a designer, developer, consultant, integrator, program manager, project manager, administrator, and receptionist, you can be part of this. The aim of the hackathon is really twofold. Number one, it's all around collaboration. If you have a look at our 4B strategy, one of the pillars in it is around one brand. So collaboration is essential. So start collaborating, integrating with not just teams in your company, but also other companies. Form teams that have individuals from the various companies. Secondly, it's all about innovation. So try and innovate as much as possible. We know that you have great ideas, and let's go and showcase this to the market. We want the market to see us as industry leaders. We want to elevate our people. So come up with some crazy ideas, create crazy applications, and if you're really serious about it, create applications or solutions that we can actually take to market and commercialize. In a couple of minutes, you'll see messages from the various companies, and the messages are really around what the market trends are, where the company's going in the next 4 years, and more importantly, what streams or focuses, key focuses they will have over the next 4 years. If you want to create a serious solution, pay careful attention to these and align your team to the correct stream that makes sense for you, what's relevant to your team and what capabilities you have in the team. 22 hours, one hackathon, one brand. Remember, there are no warlike people, they are just warlike leaders. Britehouse, prepare for battle.
Hi Britehouse, my name is Tal Nathan. I head up a company called Firestring. Firestring is a knowledge management company that's absolutely obsessed about finding solutions to allow organizations to find information with greater ease. We'd like your help to find the next great thing for us. We have a vision. We want to know why the enterprise space isn't more like the consumer space. We want to know why when you log onto SharePoint, you don't have a similar experience that you have when you log onto Amazon. When I log onto Amazon, Amazon automatically recommends books and other goods for me to purchase based on my historical buying patterns and based on what other people similar to me have purchased. Why can't the enterprise space be this way? Why when I view a document on SharePoint, SharePoint doesn't automatically recommend another document to me that may be related to this one? Why doesn't it help me find the author that wrote the document or similar documents that I'm looking at? The Firestring semantic engine Serendipity does just that. It provides APIs to developers such as yourselves to use natural language processing and linguistics to contextually understand the meaning of information within documents and use your creative intelligence to find solutions to surface bits of information. finding tools within SharePoint, SAP and other enterprise systems to allow people to interact with information with greater ease, just like we do on Amazon and just like we do on other consumer sites. I'm very excited for the hackathon. I'm sure you're all going to come up with great initiatives and great ideas. I look forward to seeing you all there, and the best of luck.
Hi, we're Automate. We've been in this business for 30 years writing software. If you've bought a car, new or used, or serviced your car, or bought parts for your car, most likely you're dealing with a dealer that uses an Automate dealer management system. Our strategy over the next 4 years is very specific. 1, we want to double our revenue. Number 2, we want to double our footprint in the Middle East and North African territory. We want to invest in HTML5, in mobility and in applications. Our strategy is underpinned specifically about quality and about agility. What we want to do differently is we want to engage and close the gap between us, between our customer, which would be the franchise dealer, and for the franchise dealer to close the gap of his relationship with his customer. So my challenge is to you. Do you have a brilliant idea? Do you have something innovative that can help me, can help Automate close the gap with our customer and close the gap of our customer with his customer? If you think you're good enough, I'm waiting to see what you have to offer. See you in November.
Hi there, I'm Glenn Buchner, Business Development Manager for Britehouse IOSs. We're part of the SAP Specialist Division and we offer innovation, optimization and support services. Where we come in usually goes something like this. After a CEO has spent 100 million rand implementing this beast called SAP, the following things usually happen. He realizes that his SAP system has to mirror exactly the structure and the functioning of his organization. And already things are changing. Some of the system users have forgotten their training, and the other half are leaving to become SAP consultants. The CFO is calling for key performance indicator reports which don't exist. And the CIO is now saying that his IT environment is way too complex and has decided to resign. This is where Britehouse IOSs comes in. We're very well placed to handle these headaches for our customers. Ultimately, we want to be the trusted advisor and support partner to our clients, and we would like them to focus on their core business while we take care of the SAP stuff. I'm really excited about this hackathon and would like you guys to consider helping us with 2 things. Firstly, finding creative ways of enhancing the value of the SAP solution for CIOs and CEOs. Secondly, helping us to achieve greater market penetration through the collaboration of other companies in the Britehouse Group. Looking forward to getting some really creative input from you. Thank you.
Hi Britehouse. The world, markets and technologies change on a daily basis. For us to stay relevant, we need to maintain our market position and be innovative. If we had to do business the way we did business 11 years ago when we started this company, we'd be nowhere and our competitors would beat us hands down. We need to continuously innovate and come up with new ideas and maintain our technology competitiveness. And I need you to join us at this hackathon. We need to work as a team to come up with new ideas, productize them and take them to market. This is a unique experience for you to contribute to the success of this business.
These are exciting times. The world is changing fast. And some of the concepts that we've heard, like hackathons and ideas where concepts and innovation are brought together with some of our traditional ways of doing business, have really brought around a new paradigm in thinking and operating in the market. One of the greatest opportunities at the moment is really around the mobility ecosystem and the mobile revolution that we've seen coming of age just in the last 4 to 5 years, where it's become absolutely mainstream. This mobile revolution has brought along with it the promise of engaging with businesses and operating in businesses in a different way. But it's not only within businesses, it's in our personal capacity, it's in our communities, and it's the way in which we engage with the world as a whole. Mobile is the interface of the new era. The question from my business, where we've been more down, the mobile business, is really how do we bring this innovation in a forum together with some of our old world concepts and some of our more mainstream technology bases into a forum where these new age concepts and innovations and solutions can be brought together to try and craft new world solutions that potentially change the nature and way in which we operate in our existing customer base. I challenge you, whoever you may be out there, whether you're in marketing, whether you're in finance, or potentially one of those technical people that really enjoy the hardcore nitty-gritty of IT. Come join us in the hackathon. Bring your ideas, bring your skills, bring your concepts. We need to leverage those alongside some of our mainstream business technologies and find new and innovative ways for us to drive our business into the future. Without the innovation, new solutions will never be born. Technology is technology, and technology will always evolve. It's really around bringing innovation along with technology in crafting new and improved solutions and improving the way in which we operate in our personal capacities as well as in our day-to-day business environment. Join us at the hackathon. We'd love to see you there. Bring your solutions and ideas, and together we can help craft the future of this business.
We're living in some phenomenal times. We've had more change in the IT industry in the past 5 years than we've had in the last 50 years. At Britehouse VPS, we are leaders in the enterprise application market space. We're looking to you to help us stay there and become even better. Through the changes in the industry, through the enterprise market as it speaks right now, there's so much opportunity, there's so much time for innovation. We're looking to you, whoever you are, to join us, embrace this change, be the change, help us remain innovative. We're really looking to continually strive to be better at what we do. Perhaps it's something in the SAP B1 space. Perhaps it's helping us take Delphix to be a multi-tenanted solution. Perhaps you've got your own ideas of some enterprise apps that you'd like to help get published. That's the type of change we're looking for. Help join us. From Britehouse VPS, we hope to see you at the hackathon.
So, you know how you've always got a great idea and your manager says billable hours, there's no time for that thing? Or when you want to make a certain solution work away and the customer says not in the spec, not for our business? Well, I think this is an opportunity for you to get those great ideas out there and do stuff. From 315 side, I'm looking for some cool ideas for our digital marketing area. So when you're going to a website and you think they could do this a little bit better, I'd love to have a product that we could give to them that makes that thing better. We've got a huge amount of great ideas coming out of the SharePoint space, certainly in SharePoint Online. So think about something that we could deploy for our customers and give them for that. Don't box yourself to those ideas. We've got a great mobile division as well. So if you're thinking of an app that we could give to our customers, or even if it's just the starting of an app that we could use as a framework and build stuff onto and use as a basis for a solution to help us work faster and make more bucks, then I think that's the idea that we want out of the hackathon. That's my great idea. That's the whole bang shoot. Enjoy it.
Thanks guys for your contribution, and Jimmy, that was a really cool t-shirt. You know guys, this is all just about harnessing the intellectual capital that exists within Britehouse. And I've only got 3 words that I want you to think about. Collaborate, innovate, and create. See you in November.
So how was that, guys? I mean, took a lot of work and effort, and we got some of the key people in the organization involved. And that's really the guidance from the organization. That's where we're going as Britehouse, as a group. You know, everything that was mentioned over here is what we're trying to focus on. These are the streams we're trying to look at. So when we engage in this hackathon, if you want to look at something serious as far as the solution is concerned, you've got to really take those ideas and that information, that guidance to heart. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a couple of slides with you, and I don't want to kill you with PowerPoint, but I think it's very important, since this has been really a military theme, and we've had this underground secretness and this all this cryptic stuff around it, and you haven't really got all the information you require, I think now's a good time to start unfolding all of that, to give that information to you so you can put your mind at ease firstly, and secondly, we can answer some questions just around, what do I do, when is it, how do I get there, what should I take with me, etc. So all of those kind of questions we're going to answer in this. But before we do that, what I really wanted to do is kick off with an inspirational quote. And everyone knows Steve Jobs. I'm sure if you're in the IT industry, you know Steve Jobs. And what he said really is around innovation. He said innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. And isn't that true? The companies out there that really innovate are the ones that stand head and shoulders above everyone else. This is what we're trying to do within Britehouse. We're trying to instill a culture of innovation within the company. We're trying to make it part of our DNA so that when we think about things to do for clients, when we go out there and we start working in client environments, we start thinking about innovative ways to change their business, to make their business better. So innovation is synonymous with not only just change, but progress. So I think it's very important that we do that to be leaders within our space. And looking at this Britehouse at this hackathon as an event, I don't see any of the other competitors in our space doing this. I'm not sure if anyone knows of anyone else doing this. I know companies that are leaders are Google, Facebook, guys like TechCrunch that ran a hackathon recently in San Francisco on the 8th of September. And those are the guys that really create ideas and create new products. So let's go through some of this, and what we'll do is we'll open the floor for questions a bit later on. So first of all, what's the proceedings for this evening, for today? So today we said we're going to have a secret meeting, and this is not the only location. I'd like to also welcome the guys from Cape Town on the other end of the video conferencing connection. And the Cape Town guys have got also a fair number of individuals that have participated, which thank you very much, is well done. And thank you to all of you that have participated. There's a lot more that have, and I'm sure they couldn't make it. So unfortunately, their client sites, etc. But it's been a great turnout. So thank you very much. These events, it's not just one person that makes it successful. It's not myself, it's not Bianca, it's not Tam, it's not some of the other individuals that were involved. It's everyone. Everyone makes something like this successful. It takes people to make this event successful. So thank you very much for participating. So tonight what we're going to do is once we've gone through all the slideware, we'll move to a different location, and at that location we'll go through the meet and greet. I'll take you through more detail around it just now. And then also we're going to discuss what's the proceedings for the 1st of November. So the 1st of November is the actual hackathon. I know some people may have got confused with today being the actual hackathon, but the 1st of November is, and I'm not talking about everyone in Britehouse, I'm just talking about some of the partners, etc. So we'll talk about what's going to happen there, and then also we'd like to keep that a little bit secretive still. So it's going to be a little bit cryptic, because we still want you, we want to make the venue a little bit of a surprise. All of the stuff that we've organized within the venue, we want it to be a bit of a surprise. We'll provide in-depth detail around the event, and then lastly, as I mentioned, we'll talk about the meet and greet. So first of all, anything we do around this event is going to be recorded. We're going to keep a copy of it somewhere. So even this session that we're having right now, we're recording this video, and we're going to put it onto our portal, which is Raw Talent, or our site. It's our form of communication for the duration of this event. So things like our teams that we've created will reside there. The mentor, not just the participant teams, but the mentor teams as well. All the communication. So there might be communication between individuals and a team. So, if you need to talk about a solution, you need to talk about meeting up at a later stage, talk about information that's missing, etc. You'll be able to do that within this platform. So we're creating those groups for you. And there's also communication between everyone. So there's a general forum as well where we can talk about anything we really want to. We'll have videos, so videos like this will be put onto it. So the video that you saw in the beginning of this presentation, that will also be added. There'll be things like recordings, and we're calling them podcasts because we're not sure exactly which format we're going to put them in. But those are for the learning sessions. You'll see later on we talk about the learning sessions, and the learning sessions are really around the toolkit that we have. That toolkit comprises of many components, things like our Automate system, our NetWeaver solution, vCloud, Microsoft Azure, etc. We'll go into more detail just now. We'll have also an event calendar, and the event calendar really kind of details the event from start to end. So from the 3rd of October until the 1st of November, it will be, all the training sessions will be recorded there. We'll have different schedules for them. We'll have anything else, so whether you've got to be at a certain location for pickup, etc., etc. So you won't have to guess about anything, so everything will be on the portal. And then we'll also have links to media publishing. So individuals like Brett, who's sitting in the front of you, is from a company called Hackathon, and they'll be blogging and they'll be writing about this event. We'll have other other houses also doing that. And also Dimension Data TV will be recording it and putting together video, and they'll be airing that for a month, on the month of November. So, how do we register? I think the next step for us, and Bianca could probably correct me if I'm wrong here, but we're going to have to go through the registration process. The registration process is really just choosing your team members. So you'll find that a lot of you have got color-coded labels, and the labels really tell, what role you play in the organization. I think it's quite important, if you're a designer, you'll have a certain color label. If you're a developer, if you're a strategist, if you're an administrator, etc., you'll have different colors. You'll see when we go to the room to do the meet and greet, when you walk in there, you'll see that it's quite informal. You need to walk around and try to think about what idea you want to come up with, what solution do you want to create, what product you want to create, and then go and find individuals that can make this happen. So if I'm a developer and I want to create a certain mobile app that integrates into SAP, I have to go find a mobile app developer first to decide on what platform it's going to be on. I need to maybe find an integrator that can do some SAP integration. I need to maybe find an administrator to find some material and do a bit of research for us. So those are the kind of things to be thinking about. So when we go through the meeting greet session, that's exactly what's going to happen. We'll have two different groups. One will be the teams. So there you can have between 4 and 8 participants in a team, and we'll go through more detail just now. And then the other group is the mentors. So we have a layer above that, and we've created that for a specific reason. I come from a technical background, and when you ask a technical person to think about anything, think about a product or a solution, it's always crazy, and it's out there, it's complex. And sometimes, I speak to myself as well, it doesn't make commercial sense, or it doesn't make financial sense, etc. And these mentors will provide that kind of guidance. So the mentors, in the mentor group, we'll have 3 individuals, and that's a preferred number of individuals in the team. You'll have a technical guru, a financial guru, you'll have a marketing/sales guru. And so those individuals will really guide the teams. They shouldn't be prescriptive, because this is a hackathon. You should go out and create something that you want to create. If you don't want to create a serious solution and you want to go and create an app that you can put onto the App Store and you can give it away for free and to compete with Angry Birds or whatever it may be, then go ahead and do so. There's no obligations and there's no limitations as to what you can do. It should really be around fun and collaboration. That's what we're trying to achieve with this. But if you want to create something serious, then I think the mentor groups are going to make sense. Because if you're creating a solution, you can bounce some ideas off them, and they could tell you, maybe this is not a great product right now that would fit within our market segment, or our market's quite immature right now. It will probably take off in the next 2 years. It will probably fit in somewhere in the US or Europe. Or, it makes sense, but if you look at the financial models, we can't really make money off this. Or, you know what, the technical group would tell you that, it makes perfect, it's technically sound, but we don't have the capability within the organization to deliver it right now. So perhaps we should look at something else, or have something that's a little bit of a variant. So that's the purpose of those groups. And then lastly, around the registration, there's some legalities, and the reason for that is because we're a big organization. Because everyone is getting out their IP, talking about their ideas. So we're going to make sure that it's part of the process from a legal aspect all covered. So when you fill in your forms, you'll fill in your team members, your team name, you'll fill in the mentors in the group, and then you'll have to sign that. So there's nothing around jumping off a big building, a tall building, or doing something crazy. That's why you have to sign indemnity. It's just really around the legalities. And then for the Cape Town individuals, they're on the other side of the VC unit over there. You can decide. So between Joburg and Cape Town, you can decide whether you want to have a mix and match, whether you want to work with individuals across the region. Practically, it is a bit tough. If you'd like to do so, go ahead and do so. But if for the Cape Town folk, if you want to have teams within your group over there, you're welcome to do so as well. There's already mentors in Cape Town, and there's also a group of individuals that are going to be participating. Okay, so as I mentioned, after this presentation, we're going to go through and set up the teams. The teams, what I suggest is if you're thinking about a solution or a product, if you have an idea, then start socializing that idea with individuals around you. And look at, if you agree on that, then start building the team. So the team should consist of individuals that have the capability to obviously deliver their product. So I think that's a suggestion from my side. And then also, those ideas will be collected, and we'll keep a record of it as the technology office. And the reason why we're doing that is because there's going to be dependencies. So if you're going to build a solution that sits on top of SAP, or it's a Microsoft.NET solution, or it connects to Azure, you're going to need those resources. If you're going to develop for that, then you're going to need to connect to it, you're going to need to connect to the APIs, etc. So we need to make that infrastructure available to you. So we're going to set up test environments. We've already had discussions with SAP, Microsoft, with the VPS guys around vCloud, the Automate guys around their solution, Atajo, the mobile guys, and there's a couple more FireStrings, and there's a couple more that I mentioned into MCP. I might be missing one or two, but we're going to make that infrastructure available and create a test environment so that you can connect to it. There's no rules about going on the first and only starting to develop your product then. You can start developing it from tomorrow if you like. I think for the business that we're in, those solutions and those products are quite complex naturally. So if you want to develop something from the 8th of October or the 15th of October, you're welcome to do so. There's no rules around it. What I suggest doing also is start a collaboration. So once the teams are formed, try and set up meetings between the team members for an hour here, an hour there. If you're quite zealous and you feel like you really want to put some kind of effort into it and you're passionate about what you're doing, then spend an hour on a Saturday or whatever it is. So it's up to you. There's no rules around it. So go ahead and do that. We'll make sure that the infrastructure is up and running by the 15th of October for you to use, and we'll communicate that to you. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of an illustration, a graphic over here as to what the structure is going to look like, you'll see that at the bottom over here, I've just put some examples of what your team should look like. So it solely depends on the solution, the product that you're building. You'll see that we suggest about 4 to 8 members in a team. The industry standard is normally around 6. If you look at what TechCrunch does or one of these guys do, but there's no rules around it, right? So this is it's just that if you get too big, there's a lot of debate and you may not move forward, or if it's too small, you may not have enough capability. And then if you look at the mentor teams, there'll probably be a mentor team for every 3 teams, 2 or 3 teams. So the mentors then will float between those teams. They'll only be called on when required. As a team, you can also set up regular team meetings, and you have your mentors join those meetings, and that's where you can bounce ideas off them, etc. If you don't have any ideas and you're thinking, what can we do, and you're struggling to come up with something, what we've also done is we've asked individuals from the different businesses to send us some of their ideas. Some of the key individuals. You saw Jimmy talking about his ideas just now, and you'll see that we have a whole lot there, over 20 ideas. So for the Johannesburg guys, when you walked into the auditorium, you were given an envelope. Inside there was your access to raw talent, so you could get access to all of this information and this content. But also there was a document or a piece of paper there which has all those ideas on it. So if you're struggling to find something and you want some help and guidance, just go and have a look at them. And also it breaks it down per business. And I think that's important, because if you want to create that idea, if you want to take it and develop it, then you need to start collaborating and conversing with the individuals in that business to understand it a bit more, because they have obviously a better understanding of that business. So have a look at it. For the Cape Town guys, Bianca has sent through an email, and that email has got your login details for raw talent, and it's also got your ideas. So go and have a look at that. And for the toolkit, Sandra went a little bit graphic on this one, but this is the toolkit, and the toolkit is really around all of the platforms that you may deliver for. You may create a solution on. So you'll see things like vCloud, Automate, etc. What I've spoken about just now. We're going to build that infrastructure for you, and we're going to make sure that infrastructure is ready. So come the day of the hackathon on the 1st of November, you will still have access to what you've built over this period of time, and you'll have access to that, to all of that infrastructure. As I mentioned earlier on, we'll build this infrastructure. As I mentioned earlier on about the learning sessions, we're going to schedule learning sessions for all of those platforms. I think it's quite important because, some of us work in our businesses and we understand it quite well. So especially for the technical folk out there, you understand how to connect to the APIs, you know how to develop for it. It's like second nature to you. But you may be working in a team where you're developing a product for a different business, or it's a different product that you're not familiar with. So for example, if you're going to be developing something on the dimension data MCP, then you need to understand how it operates. You need to understand how to connect to it. You need to understand how to write code for it. You need to understand what the APIs are, etc., the access, all that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up an hour to an hour and a half training session on all of those tools, as you saw in the previous slide. And what we'll do is in those sessions is we'll go into technical depth. We'll talk about the solution. We'll talk about accessing it. We'll talk about the APIs. We'll provide you with collateral, so we'll give you information. We'll put that onto raw talent. We'll also give you a resource to contact in case you need to speak to anyone around it in the future, in case you get stuck or you just need to bounce some ideas, etc. So you'll find that also we'll be taking those sessions, and as I mentioned, we'll be putting them into recordings or podcasts, and also putting them onto raw talent. So if you can make those sessions, and we understand that not everyone is available, some people are out at clients and they're off-site, they can go and view that at a later stage. Okay, so what's the incentivization around it? And I mean, looking at this, it's the first time I've actually seen a company provide something like this to individuals. And I think it's a good step forward. There's lots of things we can do to improve it going forward. If you look at this entire event, we want to make it better. We want to have different events coming, throughout the year and next year and for the coming years. And we probably will have another hackathon. It won't be this year, but it will probably be the next year. And we can improve it, but this is a great start. If your products get chosen and we take it and we commercialize it and it fits into one of the businesses or there's a business created for it, the agreement is to give that team, so if you've got a team of 5 individuals, the agreement is to give that team 25% of the net profit of that product for the first 2 years. So an example is, if we go and build a mobile application for the Automate solution, Automate Evolve, and the mobile application allows individuals to go and book in their cars at a dealership and also see what the status is on their services, and they can also see if there's parts that are added, they can approve it online, etc., etc. That is something that we could add as part of our service catalog for our dealerships, and they can just stick it in the box. So those are the kind of things that you get traction with quite quickly. Some of these solutions do take 2 to 3 years to get traction, but that is something you get traction quite quickly, and you can start selling it. So your team would see 25% of the net profit of that. You don't really need to be part of the business that goes and actually develops it further. Because remember, the hackathon is really just proving a concept. You don't need to go be part of the business that develops it further, but you can carry on doing what you do right now, and after the 2 years, that will be, that will be paid to you. So that's the main prize, and we're going to do it through a judging panel. So I'll go through the detail just now, but once the ideas are created on the first and the second, when the hackathon ends, then we'll have a judging process. Okay, then there's other prizes. So we've been talking to some of our partners and some of the other technology companies in the industry, like Nokia, Samsung, Microsoft, SAP. We've recently been talking to Apple, which is the core company, which is the distributor in the country, and they've also been willing to give us some of the prizes as well. So the prizes will include things like tablets and smartphones, and it will be things like laptop bags, events. They're talking about events, etc. So over this period of time between now and the 1st of November, I'll make sure I get that down. But guys like Nokia, as an example, they've already committed to giving Lumina 925s to a team that creates a funky Windows mobile app and give you digital marketing for that for 300,000 Rand as an example. So there's quite nice prizes in. And also on the day, we'll be giving out prizes. So just to make it fun and keep everyone awake, because it is a 22-hour process, we'll be calling out names and numbers and giving out spot prizes. Okay, so before I go into the 1st of November and what's going to happen there, I want to take you through something around innovation in the era that we're living in, just to show you how important innovation is and how amazing innovation is. Before I do that, there's one thing I did forget to mention, and that is, traditional hackathons are really around. You saw me in the video in the beginning, which I didn't want to really look at myself. It looked like I needed to get onto a bicycle. Scott said I should get onto a bicycle and start cycling because I had a bit of weight. But I'm trying to do that. I go to the gym at 6 in the morning now, everyone. But it's not around just developing code. So you'll find that British Airways, they have their own hackathon. It was called Ungrounded Innovation Lab. And what they did is they put people on a plane, and people just whiteboarded stuff. There may be some individuals that started developing code, but they whiteboarded and they proved the concept. If you can do that in a team of individuals, you don't really need to develop anything. You can prove a concept on whiteboard. It could be a methodology you take for iOS as an example. You say, here's a methodology, this is how we can automate this methodology, this is the value we can add, we can reduce our time in operating client environments, etc., etc. And you can prove it and it's compelling enough and makes sense, then that's perfect. It's a great idea. So there's no hard and fast rule about it being a proper piece of development or software. Okay, so I'm going to take you through a slide now. I don't know if you all know Elon Musk. In the technology industry, a lot of people know Elon Musk. Some say that he's the next Steve Jobs. The quote I had in the beginning was around Steve Jobs, and Steve Jobs is many people's idol, especially in the technology world. You see what Elon Musk is really doing. It's amazing. He's part of that SpaceX project. He's created the Tesla. He's also doing something else, which is on the side, that's called the Hyperloop. So he's come up with this idea about a Hyperloop. Now, who would have thought in this day and age you could improve transportation? We think, listen, you've got all of this transportation. Land transportation, air, sea, everything. How do we improve it? Well, we make bigger ships, faster ships. We create faster planes. We create the new age Concorde, make it faster, more fuel efficient. It could, be a bio fuel kind of crop, etc. So that's the traditional way of thinking. What he's done is he's gone and created something that's similar in some ways, but very different. He's created this tube system, which is really around air pressure and pushing a pod from one location to another. And you'll see from the pictures over here, that's like a bit of a sketch of what it's going to look like. But it sucks in air and it kind of pushes out air in the back, just like jet propulsion does. And this tube system over here sits above land. You'll see the capsule over there, and that's just a graphic impression of what it is. But you'd sit inside it and you'd move from one place to the next. Now, if you just look at the distance it covers and the speed it goes at over 1,200 kilometers per hour. It is way fast. If you look at sitting in a Boeing, you probably, if you're lucky, you're doing 900 km an hour. It's just about the high end of 800 kilometers an hour. So what does that mean? It means that he was talking about individuals moving from San Francisco to Los Angeles, which is about, I think, 700 kilometers, somewhere around there, in 35 minutes. And that would mean that if you were in South Africa and we had one of these things, you could live in Johannesburg and work in Durban, because it would take you 35 minutes to get there. And it costs they expect it to cost like $20 for a ticket. Isn't that amazing? It just changes everything. It's a paradigm shift. It changes the way we think. Because now we can stay in a low-cost area and we could work in a big, dense city. It's amazing. It's just changed everything. So this is actually what innovation is all about. So when you start thinking about ideas, etc., those are the building blocks to creating an innovative society and making us progress as the human race. So I thought it was amazing. So just to talk a little bit about the 1st of November, and I'm not going to bore you anymore. There's just a couple of slides. I'm calling it D-Day. So that's when we get together and we start coding, or we start drawing pictures and proving concepts. But what's really going to happen on this day is that everyone should meet you, and Bianca will send out a more detailed itinerary, but everyone should meet you on the 1st of November. You're going to be participating at 8 in the morning at the campus. We'll send you the location. It'll be one of the fields or building or somewhere. Once you get here, we'll gather everyone together, and at about 8:45, we'll start boarding the buses. So there'll be buses that will get you. So I don't know if some of you are old enough to think about the old Lucky Strike parties when they had those blacked out windows and you get on a train and you didn't know where you were going. So we're trying to create that kind of vibe. I know there's a lot of rumor about where this is happening, but it's just rumor. No one should really know. But we're going to take you to a location of where this is going to happen, and we've kind of kitted it out. It looks like a military base. So that's what's going to happen, and then sponsors don't need to board the bus. They can join later on. But at 10 o'clock, that's when we start hacking. So that's when we come up with ideas, and that's when we start working. So I'm hoping that by that time, you guys will have conceptualized everything, you have got all those ideas down, you would have developed some stuff. When you get there, you're kind of just tying up the loose ends. But there'll be food and drink and everything supplied. I don't want to go into more detail, but there's a lot of cool stuff that's going to happen. And it's going to happen for a 22-hour period, so it's an extreme thing, and that's what the hackathons are all about. So the next day at 8 in the morning is when it ends, and then at 8:30 the buses will bring everyone back to the campus, and that's where individuals then can go back home and rest for a while. I know it's not a long rest. You'd have to be back at the venue at 4 o'clock for the presentations. And again, Bianca will send out more information and meeting invites, etc. But you go home, rest, freshen up, and then get back to the presentations. And the presentations, that's where you kind of take 5 minutes and present your solution to the panel of judges. And that's where they could decide whether to take your product and to commercialize it, or we could have one of the sponsors say, well, it's a cool product. We're going to give you some tablets or smartphones or something for it. Okay, so it's meant to be fun. It's not too serious. Don't get too flustered about it. It's all in there for fun. It's not going to be hardcore. So let's just make sure we collaborate. Okay, and then at 7 o'clock, we estimate that we probably take about 90 minutes to do all of the judging, and we'll then move to another facility where we're going to have the year-end party, which is quite close, and that's where we'll do the prize giving. So we're going to do the prize giving with everyone in the company that will be there, and I think it's going to be quite fun. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but for the regional offices, Cape Town, who's online, and Durban as well, you'll find that we're going to fly those guys up on the 31st. So it is going to be part of the hackathon, we're going to fly them up. And there'll be shuttles, etc., etc. So they'll be flown up. They'll be put in a bed and breakfast or a hotel. The guys will wake up fresh in the morning because we want them to be fresh. We don't want to fly the guys in the morning of the first. And get to the campus. There'll be transportation or shuttles. It'll bring you here, and then they'll be part of the entire process. If the guys are coming to the year-end party, that's a separate group that will be flown up. But for their wives, I mean, they'll also be flown up, and there's arrangements to be made around that. And then after the year-end party, on the 2nd, these guys would still stay around at a bed and breakfast or hotel. And on the 3rd, they will fly back to the city they're from. So it's Durban or Cape Town. Okay, and then I've got 2 more slides to go. This one just talks around the infrastructure. I think it's quite important to understand how we're going to, what kind of connectivity we're going to have, what we're going to use to code, etc. We've arranged that Internet Solutions provide connectivity. They've been so kind to sponsor some connectivity there for us. Always On will provide the access points, the high-density access points, like one that's up here, so that we can cater for all 100 people that are in the room. We've got redundant links, so if the link fails, we'll be switched over to another link. If that fails, we've even got a third option, because remember, some of us will be connecting back to Automate or Tajo or Zero, etc., etc. If we lose connectivity, we won't be able to do anything. So we're asking everyone that has a 3G card to bring it along. Those of you who don't, we'll have about 10, pool of 10 that will distribute around. And I think that's an extreme situation, though. I think we won't have to get to that. And as far as working, laptops, you can bring your own laptops. So I'll put BYOD, bring your own device. For those of you that want to, I know that lots of people would say that they wouldn't go into battle with someone else's gun. You don't know where it's been or what it shot with it, etc. It's working. So bring your own laptops if you want. If you don't have one, we have an arrangement with HP and Dell where they'll be providing laptops. So we'll have about 30 to 35 that you can move around. If you're not going to bring a laptop with you, please tell us what you're going to be coding, what kind of software you need on it, and we'll put it on. So it's about a framework or whatever it may be. Just tell us what it is. Stefan Gorman and team will be doing all of the IT support. So they'll be making sure the connectivity is set up, it's working. From the venue, you can connect back to those systems. They'll be also on site, so that if you need any help, you can call on them and they'll come and help out. And then also from the Spirit. So from the 3rd now until the 1st of November, they'll also be available. They'll also be available to set up the laptop. So if you want software on it, please tell us and we'll get them to set it up. Okay, and then and now for the last bit of interaction in the evening. I thought it was but now it's time to go and set up a team. So what we're going to do is, Sam's going to get the ushers to take us out. We'll put this up over here, because all you want to do is you want to create the A team, right? If you're going to create a product that's going to be commercialized, you want to make sure you got the right team. So when you're choosing your team members, choose very carefully, and then everyone will show you how to get there. So Tam, your team will take us up there, and then we can start. For the Cape Town guys, thank you for joining us. Jacobus and team, thank you very much. I think you guys can also, start forming your teams there, and we'll get the information to you a little bit later. That's it. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you at next venue.